What's up, guys? My name is Noah. This is the Gunner Garage. Today we're going to be bouncing around a little bit, just getting little things done here and there. So I'll just update you as I go, but let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to be bouncing around a bit here today, just from thing to thing, so I'll just give you guys some periodic updates. But so we got the hood flipped around, got it all deburred. I ended up using, let me see if I can find it. So yeah, I used one of these kind of counterbore bits, and I just do that to clean up the everywhere where we drill, just to get all the, all the extra metal out. So ran around and did that, cleaned up these edges a little more. You can see they look really clean. And then I used a hole bit, a smaller one than we used to do these bigger holes, but I used that to go down everywhere where it kind of the sheet metal overlaps the hole. So there's a few spots there, and then over here you can see right there, kind of throughout. So I did that so when we bolt the bolts in, they'll sit flush in there and it'll just look a lot nicer. They won't be twisting, whereas it was mating up kind of on an angle here, so it was just mounting weird on the other side. So should look a lot better. Cleaned up all the scratches on here, threw some just gloss back black paint on it. Nothing too fancy, just to get all the bare metal covered so it doesn't rust. So this I'm going to flip back over so we can start doing the other side, and then I'm going to start prepping this and getting it all cleaned up so we can get it painted. So I think it has some sort of oil on it, just to protect it, but I'll clean that off with some wax and grease remover, and then we'll use a Scotch-Brite to really clean this up, and then we can get it prepped for paint. Alright, so not exactly the best news, but you can see it just really does not look good. So part of that is because I was using Rust-Oleum, which nothing wrong with it. It's just it sprays a lot of a smaller pattern than where I usually use the Duplicolor, where the way it sprays, it just has more of a fan pattern to it. And so because I was using this stuff, it was really hard to get. You can kind of see some of the tiger striping, the way it does that. It's just because it was spraying more of a circle as opposed to an oval. And then also I had it facing more in towards the garage as opposed to outside. And so I just could not see it as well as I wanted to. So it just did not spray out, as nice as I wanted to. Trying to make up for the fan pattern, got some runs in it just because I had to go a little thicker. The fingerprints are just because I realized I had to resand it, so I just pulled it off. I didn't really care. And then there's also a lot of dust in it, which that's just on me too for not cleaning well enough in the garage. Should have sweeped it out more and wetted the floor and all that. So not too big of a deal. I just gotta wait for it to fully kind of dry up here, and then we can just sand it back down. And I'll go use some of the Duplicolor stuff when I do the next one, or do it again. And I'll just put a little more time into the prep and everything so we can get it right. But little unfortunate. And then I was also shooting around with what colors or what clear I want to run. That would be a matte, and that would be the satin. You can see it has a little more shine to it. And I really like the satin, but I think I might just do the matte just because I think it'll just be easier to do. Because regardless of how well I clean the garage, there's just still going to be dust in it. And with the satin, you can't wet sand really either of these, because it just doesn't work like that, as opposed to like a gloss finish where you can wet sand and buff and get a lot of the dirt out and orange peel. With these, you kind of get what you get, so you really want to get it right. And so I think the flat it'll just be easier and it'll look better. So we'll see though. If I do my first coat of gloss black or my first couple of coats and it looks fine, maybe I'll go with the satin. But for right now, I think we're gonna do the matte. So and then I got the windshield pulled off. So I was originally not planning on doing this, but I'm glad I did, because you can see all along the bottom of the frame, it's just all rusted, which really sucks, because this is actually only a couple years old, this windshield frame, because I had this same problem before where it was rusting all the way through. So I'm not exactly sure why that's happening. I know it's a common thing for Jeeps, but I'm not really sure how to prevent it. But I'm gonna have to go through and wire wheel all that, and we'll get it all cleaned up and sealed. But having this off will make paint or wrapping it a lot easier. I just have a little bit of a test strip on there to see how it's sticking, but yeah, this has just got to get cleaned up, and we'll be able to wrap that, so that'll be nice. Yeah, as far as that goes, I got the hinges off. Those I'm gonna wrap separate, and then I'm working on finishing up that hood. So just kind of showing you guys where I'm at, because a lot's going on, but I'm gonna get back at it, and I'll update you as I go. Alright, so got this all refinished, and it honestly came out really good. So I ended up using the way bigger cans of the Rust-Oleum stuff. So they had a lot wider of a spray pattern. I was gonna do the Duplicolor, but they didn't have a flat clear finish. They only have the gloss. So ended up doing the Rust-Oleum. That wide spray pattern was really cool because we could get the whole thing within 3 passes. But then as far as the clear goes, they only have the one type of can. So you could see when I was doing those first couple of passes, it was just tiger striping really bad. So I ended up putting the Rust-Oleum, the wide angle tip on one of the smaller cans, and it kind of worked. It doesn't really fit right, so it was kind of splattering here and there, but it's a little dirty. It's been kind of sitting for a couple of days, but still came out really good. I can't really complain. It's a garage paint job, and I think it's just going to look really good. And I got a little carried away with everything else, so you can see this is actually wet sanded. So all that down there is just sealer, where we kind of had some stuff that I had to kind of touch up. The license plate, or not license plate, antenna hole, deleted that. I welded in the patch, a little bit of fiberglass, a little bit of filler. This is the sealer. I don't know why it's a different color, but so that's all ready to go. That I need to just give it a few days to actually really cure before we wet sand that. And then the tailgate, that's all wet sanded and ready to go. Looks amazing. So that's going to be really nice. The windshield frame, so all the rust at the bottom here, I got all that wire wheeled down and ended up doing like a self-etching and a sealer, and then I just threw some gloss black on there and a clear just to give it a little extra something, just to kind of protect it a little more, because all that's going to basically be covered when it's on the Jeep, but it's just the extra reassurance. And then I had to cut these little triangles in on each side because the I don't know, here, actually I think I have it over here. So the inserts right here were actually all broken on this. You can see it kind of right in there. So what I ended up doing was I pulled them out, drilled them out, and then riv nutted these kind of, I don't know what size they are in there, but basically that's just going to allow me to actually be able to bolt those in. Same thing right there. You can see it's in there. This one's on the outside, but it's there. And then that one, they kind of still like to fall out, so I'm just going to do that as we put it all back together. But got those in, sealer on this. All of this is wet sanded. Kind of had to touch up some chips and stuff, but like right there, there's kind of a bigger one. I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to see how it looks once we start wrapping, because this is going to be wrapped in basically 4 different pieces, so it's just easier. And if that looks noticeably bad, then I'll go back through and touch all this up. But I just don't want to get too carried away with this lower windshield part because it just gets hit so much with chips and stuff. So gonna see how it looks, but all that's ready to go. Got the doors back up. They're completely wet sanded. They look really good. There's some spots here and there I wish looked a little better. But with the flat wrap, it just hides so much stuff that I think we're going to be fine. So got both of those done. And then as I start to wet sand the body of this, also you can see all this, I got sealer on there, wet sanded in. But as I start to wet sand the body, I'll show you guys a little more of what I'm doing with that process. I just wanted to get all this stuff done so that we can kind of move forward with that. But we're looking pretty good. So yeah, I'd figure I'd just give you guys kind of an update on where I'm at with all this stuff, because I'm jumping around a lot at this point, just trying to get little bits and pieces done, but we're really getting close, so I'm getting excited. So let me show you guys real quick what I'm doing with the wet sanding. So you can see we got the sealer on here, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it's, if you rub it, there's more of a scratch to it. And so what you do is you get a bucket of water, put a little soap in it, doesn't have to be a lot. I'm using 1500 grit sandpaper for this. Normally, say if you're color finishing a paint job, you could start with like 1000 grit, go to 1500, 2000, buff it out. I mean, you don't really have to do any of that, but it gets rid of a lot of the orange peel in the paint. I'm just doing this for the sake of helping the wrap stick a little better, just to get rid of some of that the grit to the surface. And so all you're doing is you're just basically circling and slowly rubbing that, just to get as much of that orange peel out of there. You don't want to go too much to where you go through, obviously, but you just want to get enough to where when this dries and you rub it, it feels a lot, you don't really have that scratchy sound to it. This isn't the best example of wet sanding, and I'm sure there's a lot of videos out there on it, but this is just kind of what I'm doing in prep for this wrap. So pretty simple, not really a complicated process. Like I said, it'll just give that wrap a little extra something to stick to and give us some better results. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe. All that would be great, and have a good one.